Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna, normally these group chats, like I said, for some of the people joining, normally we kind of, I don't know, we record these and I keep everybody on mute, but we're just gonna have like an open-ended chat tonight about phone flipping. So just gonna keep it more chillaxed. How's it going, David?
Hey, going well, man.
Smile, my man. Yeah, that's good. How's phone flipping? Good?
Yes.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yes.
Let's see here.
So you got everybody wide open?
Yeah, I got everybody wide open. Everybody's able to talk. Nobody's got a call to be answered. What's up, James? How's it going? Yeah, we're just going to have kind of an open-ended chat, I guess. So, I don't know, just chill, talk, see if anybody's got any problems, and, yeah, I don't know, have like an open-ended discussion. So I actually dropped the group chat in the free group also, so, because, we always talk about the basics so much, and everybody's kind of sick of that. I'm sick of it too, so. Of course, if somebody's loud, then yeah, I'll mute him. But what have you gotten this week so far, David?
That looks good.
I got probably about 5,000 in sales this week.
That's pretty good. Can't complain.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's going pretty good. I have a supplier that's been bringing me phones pretty regular, all of them used.
Oh yeah.
And but we're kind of happy to not know each other's secret.
Yeah, sometimes it's best just not to ask.
Right.
So
they're always coming back clean, and
that's all that matters.
At this point, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Alex, what's kind of been like your most popular phone down there in Wausau? I'm just curious how the market is compared to your market.
7 pluses have been the most fire for me. I've tried them all. I've done 6s, 6S, and all the way up to the X's. The 7 plus and 8 plus, pretty, they're close in competition, but 7 pluses have been the big sellers for me.
Sure. What kind of margins are you making buying and reselling locally?
Typically I'm buying them anywhere between $200 and $300 and selling them for around $400, $425.
Oh, yeah, that's
Really?
pretty good.
$100 to $150 profit per phone.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, see, it's kind of nice, and like I feel like a lot of us get spoiled with that because there's a couple different methods out there. I mean, you can flip them on eBay, you can sell them to a direct buyer if you find one, but at the end of the day, it's always nice to make $100 to $200 per phone. But as you start to scale up, and if you really want to acquire mass phones, basically you got to pay more, and you work off a less margins, more volume, kind of like any big retailer as you grow. So don't get too comfortable with those amounts, but you'll make more money as you scale, just more volume. I mean, if you're making 50 to 75 a phone, but you're doing 10 a week, I mean, it's, it pays for itself. So, but that's good, man. I'm glad you're having, success with that and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey, what's up, Luke? How's it going?
Hey, Luke, I've been seeing iPhone 7 Plus for anywhere from $350 to $450, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and I would just always think that these people are way overpriced. But as our friend here was just saying, he was getting 400, maybe more. I mean, that just seems more than I would have ever expected locally, because you're only seeing those for 300 on eBay.
Yeah, in my opinion, I guess this is kind of my opinion. I don't mean to be mean when I say this, but I have always thought that Craigslist, I don't know if you guys are talking about Craigslist or Marketplace, but in my opinion, the Craigslist crowd is the dumbest and most ignorant crowd out of all the selling platforms. I mean, you see stuff on there that it's like it's $200 overpriced, and you message them and they're like, nah, won't take $5 less. They won't take a dime less. They They think that they got gold and they really don't. I don't know why that is. Probably because Craigslist is the oldest, most simplex platform out there. Doesn't mean everybody on Craigslist is dumb, but yeah, you're gonna see that a lot. So I mean, I agree. I mean, 450 for a 7+ is great for Alex, but I wouldn't get caught dead paying 450 for a 7+. You know, so that's just
Right.
the way it is. It's the consumer market. Consumers think they know everything, especially when they're on the selling end of it. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. So,
Yeah.
Luke, you were saying, are you from the free group? Because I don't recognize you.
Am I from the free group? No.
Yeah,
Well, both actually.
both. Gosh, why don't I recognize your name? You got Luke D. I'm trying to think who's in the group that's Luke D. besides me, of course. What's your last name?
Morrison.
Okay, well there you go. See, you ain't Luke D. You're Luke Morrison. Now I
That's
remember.
my middle initial.
I gotcha. Yeah, mine's M. Okay, well, yeah, you were saying any way we can discuss lining up suppliers. I've been moving towards working with direct buyers and just need inventory. Okay, so one of the best ways, honestly, in my 100% professional opinion, to basically acquire suppliers is to pay high. Basically, once you start paying really high prices in your area, that's when basically brother tells brother, everybody tells friend, cousin, this, that, whatever. Everybody starts coming to you because they know that you're the guy in town that pays the highest prices. Obviously, it helps to put out ads like what I do. For some of my bigger suppliers, I'll put out ads just basically saying that I pay top prices. I can beat anybody's prices, best prices in the area, stuff like that in my advertising. That basically causes people to become very curious, even if they are already selling to somebody. And then they end up reaching out. And I've gotten quite a few big customers from ads like this. Like I'll post those ads actually about 45 minutes away from me in the cities up in Minnesota. And I basically just usually use a picture of a bunch of sealed phones. And I'll usually fill the description basically with what I just said, that I pay the top prices in the area. I can beat anybody, GameStop, pawn shops, eco ATMs, other buyers out there, etc. So if that makes sense. And that's kind of basically how you get things started. And once you get one real good supplier, after that, they're going to start telling other people also like, hey, this guy pays the top prices. You should be selling to him.
You ever find people's ads, say on Craigslist, that are already selling, like already advertising because they already have inventory, already resellers. Do you ever target those guys that are already dropping ads?
Yeah, what you can do is if you see other resellers out there that you think might be newer or maybe they're still selling on eBay, you can definitely reach out, send them a message, and ask them if they have any inventory for sale. Maybe give yourself a little introduction and, say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm a private buyer, or I have a private buying company. I pay top prices for, smartphones, new, used, cracked, locked, broken. ESN status doesn't matter. Just give yourself a little introduction and try and develop a little rapport with the person. And that's how you can kind of start to develop suppliers.
Right. Okay.
So
I'm curious, has anybody ever used like the sign technique around the neighborhood, just dropping little signs in, I don't know, like corners of busy intersections?
yeah, you can do bandit signs. The only thing about bandit signs, guys, just something to keep in mind, is some cities have ordinances where they will fine you for them. So what I recommend for the bandit signs is I recommend that you guys use a Google number. That way, if something comes, because I got told by one student, because I actually don't do bandit signs, but I know other people do. I got told by one student that they got fined $600 for using a bandit sign. So that's a lot of money. So then my alternative, when they came and told me this problem, I was like, you should probably use a Google number. And he's like, awesome, I'll try that. And it's hilarious. He said he started putting them back up with the Google number, and he's like, I got 8 messages from the parking police saying that if I don't stop posting my signs, they're gonna send me a ticket for $600. But he said my Google number is like, pretty sure he got an out of country number, and then the address associated with it is out of country. And he's like, they weren't police, but it was just whoever issued the city ordinance fines. And he said that the messages on his voicemail kept getting angrier and angrier because the voicemail, they'd leave it and say, we don't know who you are and you have a foreign number and you need to stop posting these signs. We're going to send you a ticket. And he said, finally, at the end of the message, the person calmed down and said, will you just please stop posting your signs because we have nowhere to send the ticket to.
Started begging
That's
him.
kind of funny. So, yeah, so he won. He lost the war, and he lost the battle, won the war. So it's kind of funny. So if you guys do bandit signs, use a Google number. So
yeah,
but yeah, they work good. I mean, they get people's attention.
Yeah, I see them all over in my neighborhood, so I'm wondering about the ordinance.
Yep. Well, I mean, if they're all over in your neighborhood, I guess the best thing to do is I would give that.
Not for phones though. Nothing for phones. It's all real estate related.
Yeah, give the bandit sign a call though and see if it's a Google number or see if it's somebody's actual number. Because if they're using their actual number, then they're probably not getting fined. Or you could just ask them, just be like, "Hey, I was wondering about your bandit signs. Do you ever get fined?" And just tell them that you're not. Tell them you're not competition related to their industry. So
Right.
I'm curious. Obviously, if you're like, "Hey, my name's Real Estate for Profit," and I was wondering, how do these bandit signs? They're probably not going to tell you anything.
Exactly.
Just tell them that up front, that different industry, and you're just curious. So, anybody here use the Eco ATM method that I talked about long ago?
No,
I
I'm
did,
looking
actually.
to start soon though at the Appleton Mall over in Appleton there.
Yeah, that'd be big. When you guys do your Eco ATM magnets, I advise going into the mall with a hat or a beanie on, and make sure your Eco ATM magnet has a Google number, because kind of the same thing. You won't get a fine for it, but sometimes, depending on where the Eco ATM, the mall security, they'll call you and they'll leave you a stupid voicemail saying, "Yeah, don't put your magnets on the machine anymore." In my area, there's actually the Eco ATMs are at the Walmarts here, and nothing against Walmart, but I'm sure you guys have come to realize most Walmart employees could give a damn less. So I post my magnets all over the Walmart machines, and yeah, they always just stick. So, but the ones we've got one mall here in town, and I'll post the magnets on that one, and sometimes I'll get a call, or they just call and say, "Yeah, we took your magnets off. Stop doing that." But the nice thing about the Eco ATM deals is I've had people come sell me an iPhone X before for like $200 back when they were almost brand new, because anybody going to Eco ATM, they're already prepared to get lowballed. Like, they know that machine's not going to offer much. So once you get the call from the Eco ATM machine, the deal's pretty much in your lap. All you got to do is say, "Yeah, I'll give you $20 extra," and it's yours. So that's something you guys should probably do too.
Where's everyone else from?
Sacramento.
Oh, good weather.
It's nice out here today, man.
It's terrible here. I have another.
Windows closed to keep the glare down, but it's a beautiful day.
I'm sure it is. It's not good here.
What about you, David? Where are you from?
I'm from Tennessee,
Tennessee?
near Knoxville.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm from Wausau, Wisconsin, so not too far from Luke, just a couple hours.
It's no good
All right.
here. Yeah,
Cool.
It's no good. It's just too cold.
Yeah.
How's
Well,
Tennessee? What's the weather like there?
Where?
How's Tennessee? How's the weather like
Tennessee, yeah. Today was 65, sunny. Pretty nice.
there? That is pretty nice. I didn't know Tennessee was that nice.
I was running my air
Yeah.
conditioner in the car today.
Yeah.
It's that warm.
Must
Wow.
be nice. Yeah, that's the biggest thing you worry about here is not even the air conditioners. You always worry if the heater works.
Yeah.
So
So does everyone sell on eBay, or how does everyone do their sales?
I sell on eBay and I also sell to direct buyers.
Same here.
Yeah, same here.
What are some tips you guys have for me for starting out on eBay if I'm new to starting on eBay? I know I'm going through all the content Luke provided in his course.
Honestly, I just keep seeing this everywhere, and it really blows my mind. Don't scam people on eBay, because and by that I don't mean like literally scam them, but I mean don't take half-ass pictures of your smartphone and be like, "Oh yeah, here's a picture," and then just throw the thing up on eBay. I see so many people getting banned from eBay and Mercari, and I really don't understand why. I've been on eBay for like 6 years. I've sold so many phones on there, and never have been even close to getting banned. Just basically actually put your time into it, go through the whole course, put your time into it, and actually care about eBay. It's like people will get a return on eBay, and instead of accepting it, they'll get this like vengeful mentality where they want eBay to pay. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you guys have all felt this before. It's a natural human reaction. Have you guys ever had somebody piss you off where you're just like, yeah, like I want to F that person up? Well, people get mad at eBay, and it's like, you're not going to win against a, billionaire company. And then, the next time they get a return, instead of accepting it, they'll try and deny it. And then eBay overrules it, and then you get a negative strike on your account. So my best advice is to actually put effort into it. And when you get returns, try and be as professional as possible, because that's a big thing. Like if somebody tries to return an item, like even if it's buyer's remorse, if you argue there with the buyer and eBay ends up siding with them, well, a lot of the times you'll tick off the buyer. They might send you back something broken, or they won't send back the right thing, and it just becomes a big episode. And so just basically keep a really good mindset about eBay. It's a really good tool. Like to this day, even though I have like the absolute top contacts in the industry for direct buyers, because I paid thousands of dollars for them, I still sell some stuff on eBay. And so it's just a tool that you don't ever want to burn. So just be careful what you're doing. Make sure you're shipping out your items on time. Also, if you have your shipping policy set to like a business day, I recommend doing like 2-day handling time or 3-day handling time, just to give yourself some leeway. I mean, stuff happens, so especially if you got a, girlfriend or fiance, or, if you still live at home. I don't know what your situation is, Alex, but, I've got this, little cute 20-year-old girlfriend, and like sometimes, I don't know, we're just sitting there on the couch and all of a sudden I just fall asleep and I'm like, oh shoot. And I don't mean to slack off, but it's a lot easier when you're comfortable or you're in a relationship. Like if you're single, it's like, it's so easy to just grind. But it happens. So make sure you give yourself some leeway with shipping time, just because of the fact that if you miss your shipping times, you get bad feedback, and then 2, it's a strike on your account from eBay if you miss your shipping times too many times. So just kind of be careful with what you're doing, man, and you'll do good. You seem like you're learning pretty quick, and you seem pretty smart too. So
it helped having Craigslist and Facebook experience from flipping cars. So kind of the
oh
same
yeah,
applies to this, just more online stuff, I guess.
that's pretty cool though. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, just because everybody here's into flipping whatever. I mean, we all flip smartphones, electronics, but you want to talk to the group a little bit about the car business or what's going on there? Because I've flipped quite a few cars myself. I don't have a car dealership, and that was actually, if I can ever get everything handled, I'm working slowly on a car and bike flipping course.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start a dealership a while ago, but I just heard you needed a ton of capital and bonding to actually get the dealership license. And I'm just curious what you're doing.
Absolutely. So I officially opened my lot back in last July, but it took me 11 months to get that dealer's license in Wisconsin. It's a little bit different in every state, but the same requirements kind of applies for what you need. But you need a property. You need to have an indoor display area. So I have a very small commercial property out here in Wausau where I live, just 10 minutes away from where I live, and signed a contract for that. It's just like a year lease that you renew every year. The parking lot holds about 40 cars. So I've sold about 300 cars in the past 3.5, 4 years. Through I used to sell them privately, and there's laws around that. So you can technically only sell 5. Yeah. Right. But the ways around selling vehicles, if that's something you want to look into, definitely very jumper. Yeah, there's title jumping, but you can use your friends and family members to title vehicles in and sell them. So that's one way around it. So there's a lot of money to be made. Profit margins for cars are pretty high. I typically profit on average about $1,000 per vehicle. I just sell small 4-door sedans, trucks, nothing major or new, just because it's like iPhones. I sell, the used vehicles that are a little lower in mileage. Right. But that's what people have money for nowadays. And all my vehicles are typically, I get for under $2,000 and sell them usually for $3,000 to $5,000, depending on how much I got it for. But as far as the business itself, it's it's a difficult business to get into and get started, depending on how much capital you start with. For me to get completely started with rent and all the bills and having 2 cars of inventory to start, it came to about a total of $15,000 I ended up dumping into it, just to start with 2 cars. So just like back in the day when I started selling iPhones, I guess, I started with just 2 cars and I sold those 2 and I'd go buy 3 and so on. Now I have 15 cars total in my lot. But I've been moving cars around. Winter's a slow time of year for the car industry. Just like, at times of the year, I feel like it can be slow for iPhones. Possibly. It depends on where you're located and how you can buy them.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it's a good business to be in, and profit margins are high. And if I don't know much about cars, I'm not very mechanically inclined. I'm just a good salesperson and negotiator. So when it comes to that, there's money to be made in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's cool, man. Thanks for the piece on that. So, cars are.
I know you've obviously sold some cars and motorcycles before. Has anyone else bought and sold vehicles or sold a car?
Quite personally, I'm quite intimidated by, by the whole idea, just not being very mechanically inclined.
I'm not either, and I outsource 100% of my mechanical work. I buy a car, say in Eau Claire where Luke lives. I buy a car there, and I'll drive it, back home to Wausau and drop it off at my mechanic, and I just pay to get it fixed up. They give you a small discount as a car dealer, and I just take it to my lot. So I always leave that room when I'm buying a vehicle to assume that a couple $100s of work will go into it. I just drive it to my lot and put a for sale sign up, and then it's on the marketplace and on Craigslist within 10 minutes of me getting that car back.
Wow, that's inspiring.
I had a friend that was flipping motorcycles on the side. He was working with me, and he would buy him, one bike for maybe $500, $300. He'd spray paint it and sell it for $700. He kind of low end, cross rocket type bikes.
Right.
I do the same thing. I've flipped probably about 100 mopeds and motorcycles. I'm more into riding them and keeping them. I get kind of emotionally attached to bikes I buy, so it's never good to get emotionally attached. But yeah, motorcycles, all of that stuff. Vehicles are just a great, easy thing to flip if you know what you're doing and can buy them for the right price.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, if I end up I have so many irons in the fire. I'd really like to make this course. I've got some good videos right now. But what you were saying, David, just kind of something that I'm going to be putting in the course. So luckily, my dad actually owns an auto body shop. However, I didn't really grow up in the shop. I mean, I know a lot about cars, going down the road, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know a ton about them, but I know enough. But what I personally would do, actually, there's one of 2 things you can do. There's the paid method, and then there's the free method. And the free method never fails. It's kind of scary to do, but I mean, it literally works. So the one thing that you can do if you buy a car is you need to establish, kind of like Alex said, he outsources stuff. You need to establish a relationship, not with like a name brand car dealership. Like in my area, there's like Marquardt's, there's name brand Nissan, like all the big dealerships. You want to just basically establish a relationship with a mom and pop shop, explain to them what you're doing, and just basically go there and take the car. And what I always did, because I don't want anybody to get hurt when I'm flipping a car, I take the car there and I say, hey, look, this car, if you don't tell them about your business, I'd usually just say, hey, I'm buying this car. It's going to be for my girlfriend. Or, if you're older, it's going to be for my daughter or son, whatever. And just tell them, hey, can you guys check the car out and make sure that it's safe, take it down the road, put it up on the hoist. And they'll usually say, sure, yeah, $35 or maybe $50. Easy, simple, and then that you're selling somebody a decent car. And typically that'll pretty much solve like any obvious problems. Obviously, if you're selling a used car, somebody might have problems with it later on down the road.
Right.
Something might not come out right away. And then the other way to test a car is, and it's foolproof because I've had cars break when I do this. Semi-illegal, but literally go on a dead-end road, put it in 0, slam it and drive, hit about 80 miles an hour, and then hit the brakes real hard. If you stress a car from start to go, usually do this like 3-4 times, and then also you want to take the car and turn it all the way right a couple times, all the way left a couple times. You don't have to go real fast, but if you hear any obvious creaks or weird noises, or when you're driving real fast, if it doesn't run out good and it doesn't stop good, there's probably something wrong with it. And that's the test that I do before I actually buy the car. So I do that. when I buy the car. And if it passes that, and then I'm still like, well, it's got a lot of rust. Like in Wisconsin, we get a lot of rust. I'll just have it taken to the mechanic, and I'll do that. If there's not much rust and it passed the SHIT test, which I've had cars SHIT out, shit out, whatever, shit out when you do the shit test, then I don't buy the car because it's going to be problematic and it's not going to be a good flip. So that's kind of the best way to do it from what I've seen.
Okay. Yeah.
You ever done that before, Alex?
Absolutely. That's every car I buy. I do that exact same test. I mean, aside from that, just getting it on the highway too to get it up to speed if there's no good roads. And it's pretty easy, not being mechanically inclined to tell if something's wrong with it or not.
Right.
And then something too, sometimes if there's a check engine light on vehicles, you can bring them to O'Reilly or Advanced Auto Parts. They have free check engine code readers. They can tell you exactly what it might need. That way you have an idea if something severe is wrong with it. It could be something simple for all you know. But you can also buy those at Fleet Farm for pretty cheap.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So
something I was changing the subject a little bit, but going back to your question about eBay. Luke, I remember I watched your video about somebody who got banned on eBay. And I know from my from selling on Amazon that if you're not an authorized reseller for a brand name product, that you cannot technically, I mean, I don't know if the word is legally, but you can't technically sell something as brand new. But I see a lot of people selling sealed iPhones as brand new. And that's against eBay policy. Because in other words, you have to have rights to sell it as brand new. And if you're not recognized by Apple as a reseller, then eBay can suspend your account for that. And so you have to basically put it in as new other. And that's almost like used, but it's basically saying it's used, but not really used. But it's not brand new, as in you can offer a warranty with it as a like as a carrier can offer a warranty if you buy it from them. And
right.
So I was just going to say, whatever you do, don't list anything as brand new because that could get your account suspended.
Yeah, if you're starting out on eBay, you don't want to sell a bunch of sealed bad ESN phones. So typically what I do, because most sealed phones are financed, typically for those, I actually list them as new other, or I actually put them under the for parts or not working category. And I establish, see pictures for details. Phone is new and sealed, but has a finance balance or financed IMEI. Now, if the phone checks out as SIM unlocked, I don't see there being a problem as it being listed as new, being the reason that even if you're not a reseller or even if you're not a certified reseller, if the phone checks out that it's unlocked, it was probably paid for. And so that phone will have a full warranty from Apple if you were to ever exchange it. So, but if you really want to be safe, I just list it as new other. And then, if you have a serious buyer, they can always reach out and you can always verify the details and, explain, hey, the phone's paid for, it's sealed, it's brand new, and, it does have an Apple warranty. You guys can always go on apple.com too, check out the IMEI and make sure it does have a warranty, because sometimes somebody will get a sealed phone and they might hold it for a while before you end up with it. So that's something to be careful of too. So.
Yeah, that's true. And I was kind of speaking broadly when I was saying that about a warranty. I know Apple is pretty unique in the industry like that. They don't link the phone to an individual. They basically warranty any phone. But
yeah, Apple's really awesome like that. Actually,
it is. But I am kind of speaking generally, like, in other words, well, and my experience with selling on Amazon, on eBay, is that if it's listed as brand new, you basically have to have a verifiable invoice from an authorized distributor in order to sell something as brand new. If not, it's got to be listed as new other.
Yeah,
you might want to look into that, but
I could check it out. Me personally, I've never had eBay message me or anything like that. Now there was one time when I was selling quite a bit of iPhones, and they asked me for an invoice from
Yeah.
my supplier, and I just uploaded my bill of sales from customers, and that was good enough. So
Really?
yeah, usually, and from what I found too, usually they only check into it typically once. Doesn't always
Okay.
happen, and it
Okay.
happens a lot if you have a newer eBay account. Like I haven't gotten one of those notices in years, but when I first started selling, I did get one of those notices. Nothing happened to my account. Now I know Amazon, I'm not an Amazon seller, but I've seen tons of videos online of people speaking that because Amazon's getting so crowded with people doing FBA and Amazon this,
Yeah.
Amazon that. Yeah, if you want to sell like Nike on Amazon, you do have to have a certified reseller certificate based with the company that you're reselling the product of.
Right.
That's 100% fact. So
Yeah.
Does
but yeah,
everyone mainly sell iPhones and Apple products, or does anyone do Samsung? And
yeah. I mean, I resell Samsungs on eBay or what?
yeah, just whatever. I mean, I've only stuck to iPhones for now.
Samsungs are good, but they move a lot slower on eBay. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy
Luke,
everything,
do you
man.
sell? Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Luke, do you sell your cracked on eBay or do you sell them to your direct buyers?
Cracked. It kind of just depends. Sometimes
Really?
they go on eBay. So just depends, on the margins or what I paid for it. So I kind of
Okay.
weigh out all my options before I sell something.
Right.
Mostly new sealed, that'll go, to direct buyers and such. So
Yeah.
so
Seems like the prices are a little better on eBay for especially some of the older ones, and especially older cracked ones.
Yep, yeah, older cracked eBay is always better just because of the fact that, these direct buyers are exporting typically overseas, and then overseas they're being sold in a retail store setting. And the most popular thing in the retail store setting is going to be the latest and greatest phone, not something
Right.
from 5, 6 years ago. So
Oh, okay.
something to kind of keep in mind. And that's why that's, the way that it is. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Well, guys, coming up on I don't know, 40 minutes here. At least that's what the chat's saying. So I hope you guys enjoyed this chat. We'll do another one next Sunday, as always, 7 p.m. So if you guys kind of like this a little bit better, I feel like, I don't know, it was just kind of nice to actually talk about stuff rather than me sit here and talk for 30 minutes because believe me, I don't like hearing myself talk. So
Yeah, it was cool, man. I liked it.
it gets old.
Yeah,
So.
I like it.
Well, this is
Cool.
good.
Cool. Well, glad. We'll do it again next Sunday. So I'll post the replay. If you guys got any comments or maybe stuff we want to talk about next week, drop some comments below. So
You got it.
Certainly.
have a good Sunday, guys, and go out there and kill it this week.
Happy St. Patty's
All right.
Day.
Yeah.
You too, Luke.
How you doing, guys?